James.
Yes, Bethany.
So nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We are here with James, the owner of Lonestar Insurance Agency in Burleson, Texas. And we're going to check out some of his toys and hear his story on how he created his own business and hear all about the success. Okay, this might be a girl thing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into this thing.
Well, let me at least get the door open for you. Okay, now take a stab at it.
Oh my goodness. What would you even do? Would you?
Little higher.
I'm overflowing with chiffon, and I dress myself to my favorite songs. I got the girl thing.
Whew, I made it up here.
Everybody's safe. Nobody got hurt.
I was starting to think if you didn't have an elevator, I was going to need a ladder.
Well, I've got one in the warehouse.
I do. Well, they say the difference between, reaching success is with boys is the number of toys that you have.
I've heard that, yes.
I'd have to say that must be, is that motorcycle yours?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Well, we're going to have to check that out. And the Lamborghini is yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah.
And the Corvette.
Ah, and the Corvette is yours.
Yes, ma'am.
So you haven't always been this successful.
Absolutely not.
So I want to talk about what would be really interesting to my audience is I think sometimes I bring on success stories, and I'm sure they're struggling right now, and they're trying to figure out how to make dinner plans for next week.
Right.
And I think it'd be great if they could hear a little bit about your story. So tell me, what was it, 20 years ago maybe where you were?
Well, if we go back a little further to 30 years ago, 30 years ago I was running the streets of Burleson, smoking crack, smoking meth, getting high, and getting in trouble.
Wow.
And opportunity came along, well, after a little judicial motivation.
Judicial motivation? I'm hoping my kids don't need that.
I hope
can
not.
tell you that.
It's gotten a lot more expensive today.
I want them to be motivated to work, but I'm...
Right, so after being judicially motivated, had an opportunity to get clean, and was introduced to a program that helped me stay clean. Went back to school, got a degree, and just started working a few different jobs, and opportunity came along to open a business in the insurance business, and I did that. And the main thing I always did, despite all my troubles, was I always managed to keep my credit good and to not go heavily into debt. Yeah. So when you do that, when you save for the old saying, save for a rainy day, but also save for the opportunity, because opportunities will present themselves to everyone, but only those who are in a position to take advantage of it can capitalize on it.
But what made you believe that you could get out of that hole? I mean, I think a lot of people get stuck.
You just got to buckle down and fight your way out. It's a lot of it is. I'm a Christian, so my Christian faith. But even outside of that, it's just perseverance. It's getting up every day, get up, suit up, show up, one day at a time, one step at a time, $1 at a time, and you build your way out of that. I started my first insurance agency with 0 customers, and I remember vividly the first customer coming in the door. I remember a month later when he came in.
Describe him. Describe the first customer.
He was a military guy.
Oh, military guy. Yeah. You're like customer number 1.
Yes. and actually, the day that it happened, it was not going smooth at all. Mm-hmm. And he actually said, "Dude, are you sure you're a effing blankety blank agent?" And I said, I think so. I'll get it worked out, and I'll call you Monday. So a month later, my one employee saw him pull up, and she said, "Hey, our customer is here to make his payment." And I said, "I hope he's here to pay and not cancel." Fast forward several years, and I've got thousands of clients. I've become friends. I have relationships with lots of them. And, just opportunity after opportunity. I was able to buy a very, very, very small office building that we officed out of, pay that one off. I bought another little building next door to that one and kept waiting for the next opportunity. Now, the main thing is staying out of debt. Debt is the devil, and if you can manage to stay out of that,
It's a prison of itself. Debt is a
Absolutely.
prison. I talk to a lot of people. I have a book out called Live Your Dreams, and I'm always trying to help people to move towards, at least closer to the life they want to live. And a lot of times our debt keeps us doing things we don't want to do because we're a prisoner. We're a prisoner to our debtors, and so they can't, quit their job and move and rent kayaks on the beach in Florida because they owe on all of this stuff that they didn't want anyways.
Yep. Actually, we're a prisoner of ourselves, in more than just finances. One of my favorite sayings is, "I count him braver who can overcome himself than he who can overcome his enemy. For the battle over self is the hardest fought."
Oh, that's a great one.
And if we can overcome, if we can control our emotions and we can control our spending, our finances and romances, okay? I'm 51 years old. I'm in great shape. I'm a 5th-degree black belt. I work out all the time, and everybody wants to take a pill or they want the 30-day fix.
Right.
And it's not about, finances aren't about a 30-day fix. It's a lifestyle.
And so is fitness. I fall into that.
Fitness and finances are a lifestyle.
We've signed up to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so my boyfriend tells me a few days ago, you got to get out of bed and go work out every day, right? You're not going to be able to get your butt up the mountain unless you actually do something. And I'm like, this conversation is way too much reality for me right
Well, let me tell you, I climbed Pikes Peak.
Oh, did you?
Yes, about 5 or 6 years ago, and I did it with my niece, who was in high school at the time and was on the track team. And it kicked my butt.
Yeah.
And I'm in good shape now. I was in better shape then, but it was a reality check.
I know Kilimanjaro's going to kick my butt.
But getting to the top, looking out over it, and knowing that 8 hours earlier I started 12,000 feet lower.
Lower, yep.
And took me 8 hours, but hiked all the way up to the top of that thing. And it was a short-term goal, but something I accomplished. And
that's why I like to do it. I like to do something that the physical resembles the struggles that we go through in life. When we're at the bottom, we feel like, oh my gosh, are we really going to be able to do this? It seems impossible.
Right.
Our barriers seem so high, we get tired. And to me, it's the equivalent of life. We get stuck, we get tired.
Right.
And if you can get to the top, somehow you can tell yourself mentally, all right, I made it through this mountain, I can get through that financial debt I owe, or I can get through that business I want to start.
Right.
So what do you think were the two hardest things that you encountered when you had to start the business? What were the things where you almost wanted to throw in the towel?
Well, the very first thing was to determine what business I wanted to get into. So,
and that's where I think a lot of my audience is. We started this show just a few months ago called Homemade Money, and they're all trying to start businesses and bring extra money into the household. And I think they start by figuring out, what do I even want to do?
Right. So what happened for me is I got married and I adopted a little boy.
Oh, congratulations.
And so prior to getting married, I was traveling 85% of the time. And I planned on getting married and continuing to travel and work. And about 2 months into it, my heart just broke, and I realized that I could not leave town every Monday and be a good father and a good husband. So I started looking into opportunities that I could have my own business. So I consulted with other people who were successful, talked to them, and determined that I wanted to get into the insurance business.
Which I think that's a great tip.
Love the insurance business.
Anytime you stop and talk to people that are successful, you can find the path that they already took.
Right. Right. Well, consulting with people who have something you want. I mean, we're only going to, water seeks its own level. And so if we're going to sit back and talk with all our stagnant, complacent friends, we're never going to rise to a higher level. So you've got to get out of, the old saying, show me your 5 closest friends, I'll show you where you'll be in 5 years. And so you've got to look toward people that have something you want and got it in a manner that you respect.
Right.
So legally, responsibly, contributing back to society, and talk to them, ask them. Most people, I love when I can motivate somebody else. When somebody comes along and they want and they're hungry, when the student's ready, the teacher will show up.
Yep.
And so I love being able to motivate those people and encourage them, and then walk with them and help them avoid some of the mistakes I made.
Pitfalls, right.
And then seeing their success and just little increments. So it's great. I love it. And having the toys are nice, but the toys allow me, it really gives me an opportunity for people to strike conversation with me and say, wow, where'd you get that? How'd you do that? What do you do for a living? And I'm more than happy to share. I mean, I don't blow people off. I mean, I really...
You're going to share. So I'd like you to share the Lamborghini keys with me for, I don't know, what do we need it for, maybe like a week?
I don't know if I'm going to share it that much yet. Your boyfriend probably wouldn't like it. So...
Oh, I'd share it with him.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Being in the insurance business, I advise clients it's not wise to let other people borrow your car.
No, I'm sure it's
Nor
not.
is it wise to borrow somebody else's car.
Well, I was in LA one time, and I was driving down Rodeo Drive.
Right.
And I used to work for a consultant that was out in LA, and you know what Rodeo Drive looks like.
Yep.
Every other
Which was there a
car
couple months ago.
is amazing. I was actually at a car show there once on Father's Day.
Okay.
I was literally driving down Rodeo Drive, and I was nervous because I was thinking, if I hit any one of these cars, I mean, that'll max out my insurance policy.
Right. Well, at least you have an understanding that there's limits on
Yes.
the policy. A lot of people don't realize
So I was driving really slow thinking, oh, I know I can't afford to fix that. I know I can't afford to fix that one or that one or that one.
Right.
It's terrifying out there.
Well, that brings up a good point. You know, when people are starting business, they need to understand to establish a plan. You know, the old saying, plan your work and then work your plan. And you have to have a plan. You have to understand, am I going to be a sole proprietor? Am I going to be an LLC?
So how did you get out? Did you read a lot of books? You seem like you've read a lot of books.
I've read a lot of books. A lot of it is self-learned.
Yeah.
I come from a family that didn't really have any entrepreneurs. My dad was an Air Force guy. My mom was a nurse. I have a sister and a brother that are both have been employees. And so a lot of it was self-taught, trial and error, just submersing myself in that subject matter. I like to read. I don't read novels.
You know, you could teach entrepreneurial classes.
I would love
Small
to do something
startups.
like that.
You could
I
do
would
that.
love to do something
It'd be
like
a
that.
great community service thing. To
So
do.
yeah,
Yes,
I love to share that. I've got the insurance agency. I've got a real estate portfolio, and then I've got a small investment company that I have a partner in, and we actually do lending for individuals and small businesses. Just a very small scale thing, but the real estate company is great, and I own several properties, commercial and residential properties, and I rent to people. And the insurance industry is great.
Do you ever wake up and think, wow, how amazingly grateful? I mean, don't you ever think, I used to do drugs in the city? I mean, doesn't that
Absolutely.
just like wash over you sometimes like an ocean wave?
Every day. Every day. I still have old pictures of what I looked like. I was 50 pounds lighter. I had hair down to here, permed, you know, like the rock bands of the 80s.
I used to perm my hair too.
So,
I'm not showing you pictures though.
Well, you know, you wouldn't have climbed up in a truck with me 30 years ago. So I don't think you would have sat in the same bus.
I
with
wouldn't
me.
climb up in a truck with almost anyone. I just want to get that out there.
Okay.
I'm not a monster. I don't know. Can you picture me riding around in a monster truck? I am from Flint, Michigan.
Hey, I
Yeah,
never
that's true.
thought I was either. And
That's
my
cool.
kids saw the truck and it was for sale. And you know, I thought I'm into Harleys and high performance cars. But then I saw the opportunity to put a cool paint job on it, put my business signs on it, and use it as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
instead
Probably
of
gets a lot of attention.
paying $800 or $1,000 a month
For
for
a
a
sign.
billboard, I drive my billboard around. And
But have you thought about when your son is 16, he's going to want the truck?
he just turned 22, so
Oh,
we've
okay,
already
you're
been through
past
that. No truck, no Lambo, no nothing. He's got to make his own way.
I live with 4 teenagers now,
Oh wow!
and every one of them has headers on their car. And so every time a car starts up at our house, it goes vroom.
Right.
And the joke is they keep going, I don't know why you don't do a show at the house and let us show them our cars. That's what
You should. I'm impressed that a girl knows what headers are. So that's good.
we got some loud cars at our house. And then my son has like a cafe cruiser. You know, he's got a bike. That,
Okay.
he's
So,
fixed up. And
well, mine's got loud pipes on it. It's more of a cruiser. It's a Harley Street Glide. Fun bike.
Yeah.
Made it out to the big Bike-tober Fest in October with all the old Harley people. And
So what's the best piece of advice you would give someone who's sitting at home thinking about starting a business,
right?
but they haven't quite figured out what to do? They don't even know where to start. So if you were to give them 1, 2, 3, hey, this is where I want you to do this, this, and this, what would be your 1, 2, 3 for these guys and gals that are out there just not sure where to go?
First, figure out what it is you want to do. And second, do it. And third, when you fall, get back up.
Love it.
You're going to stumble, you're going to fall.
Stumble. Yep.
So it's not an if, it's when. And you will stumble, you will fall. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people that want to put you down, hold you back. Same thing with drugs. People when you want to get out of that lifestyle and that environment, those people that are miserable, they're going to tell you you can't. You'll never amount to anything.
Right.
And
you probably had people telling you that.
Many. I had people that wanted to continue to hang out. And the program I went to, they told me I needed to change 3 things: my playground, my playmates, and my playthings. And I did that. And I told all those old people, I'm sorry, I can't hang out with you anymore.
That's such a great point. So my audience might be exposed to people that are holding them in a bad playground.
Absolutely. You gotta remove yourself, go to different, start hanging out different places. Even with eating, it all goes together. You can't sit at home and eat ice cream.
You had to go there, didn't you?
You can't sit at home and eat ice cream.
I put on 3 pounds this Christmas.
Okay. Well, that's good. But you can't sit at home and eat ice cream and expect to look like a supermodel. And it's slow, steady progress. I didn't get all the toys overnight. I didn't have immediate success. And be willing to deprive yourself of the short-term gratification in order for the long-term things. There's many times I'd order water, and we didn't have cable TV for a long time, and all that stuff. I mean, to me, those are short-term enjoyments, and I'd rather put that stuff off and save my money and spend it on marketing for my business and grow my business.
You have to be willing to do the hard stuff. My 21-year-old told me that. I quit my corporate job last year and started my own business and started doing talk shows and moved into a total new life at my age.
Right.
Started all over again.
25?
And I just turned 49.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just had a birthday. And my son said to me, my 21-year-old, of course, is much younger, hasn't experienced much life. And he said to me, because I said, I don't know how this is going to go. So I said a year ago. Could go well, might not go well, have no idea what's going to happen. And he said, Mom, if you really believe in it, you'd have to be willing to eat beans. He said, if you believed in it full-heartedly and you want to do it, then you need to be willing to make the sacrifice. And I was like, this is the advice I get from my 21-year-old.
That's good. He's in your corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're not eating beans, probably not. So.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I probably should be if I want to go to Kilimanjaro. Let's move on out to your Lamborghini.
Okay.
And
I have one other great saying. I'm a big fan of sayings, and I write them down. I live by them. But one of my favorite ones is the pain of self-discipline is far less than the pain of regret.
Yes, I think that's true.
So whether it's finances, business, working out, whatever, the pain of self-discipline is far less than the pain of regret. So just write anything positive. Write it down, live it, love it, obey it. You can have anything you want.
Feed it in, yep.
Anything
All right, let's go take a look at the Lamborghini that I'm going to get the keys to for a week.
Right.
So how did you know you wanted a red one?
I did. I just happened to stumble across this one and thought the color was beautiful.
See, I don't even think I can get in it. Oh!
I told you. See,
holy cow!
all the cool stuff is hard to get into.
Well, so I guess really tall people don't drive these things.
Slide your legs in there, see if you can.
Oh my gosh, it's like getting in a closet. A closet with an engine.
Well, you gotta fold up like you're putting your clothes up.
Oh
right?
my goodness! I got into a pair of blue jeans like this once. automatic. It's probably a stick shift, right? Or
Well,
is
it's
it
what
an
they call an
automatic?
e-gear. So it's paddle shift. You actually shift through paddles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right
My
here.
son would love it. No, I could never do it. I don't know how to drive a stick shift.
Okay. Well, it has a fully automatic mode. You hit the
Oh,
little
it
A
does?
in the console there, but
Oh.
it's a rocket ship with wheels.
Oh, my
200
goodness.
miles an hour.
So do you like then have to unfold yourself to get out?
It's almost
Let's
as
see.
hard.
Watch
getting out.
this. Watch
Okay,
how
okay.
I bet you can do it way more gracefully than I can. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny.
You just don't moan and
okay.
groan. Just
You don't moan and groan. when you-
realize how cool you look. Okay. It's all
I don't
good.
think I look cool when I get
Oh.
out of it.
Hey, you cannot look cool.
All right, I want to see the bike too. Show us
Okay.
your bike.
Bike in here.
So this is the Harley.
This is the Harley. It's a Harley Davidson Street Glide. Taking it to the Grand Canyon, South Padre, Destin, Pensacola, Tennessee.
Pretty. Can I sit on it?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Took it to Daytona Beach this year for Biketoberfest. Blast to drive. Ride.
Yeah. My son left his out the other day and it was raining and I couldn't even push the thing in the garage.
It's about 650 pounds.
Yeah, it's a rather hefty thing. It's comfortable.
Very comfortable. I had one prior model was when I was much younger and it didn't have a fairing, but the fairing sure makes it comfortable to ride long distance.
Awesome.
But everything has to go fast or look cool.
Yeah, I rode bikes years ago with my first husband. We rode a lot. We used to do street trips out in California, and then when he died, I promised my daughter I wouldn't ride. So I haven't ridden since he died in '95.
Wow.
So I miss them, but shh, don't tell her that.
Right. Well, my wife won't get on it. She said we still have little kids and somebody's got to be around to raise them.
Yeah, absolutely,
She said,
absolutely.
Just be careful, be safe, have fun.
Well, James, thank you so much for doing this interview today. I think your story is so inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. I hope to encourage those out there that are on the fence trying to do something to improve their life. And if you ever got questions, concerns, whatever, you can reach me. Bethany will have all my contact information. I'd be happy to share my testimony with you.
And we'll
Thanks.
put your website up as well.
Absolutely.
And your
Thank you.
contact information. I think that all of us look at life through a lens that sometimes we're thinking, I know other people can do it, but I can't. And so it's why I bring on interviews like this, is I want people to feel like they can do it.
Right. Anybody can. If you're committed, you can. Nothing can stop you. You can do whatever you want. The world is ours to conquer, and I encourage everybody to go out there and find their fortune. And,
Awesome.
And the fortune's not in the money. The fortune, it's
It's the lifestyle.
It's the lifestyle and it's the journey. It's about helping other people. And you know, Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you can have anything
You get
want.
what you want, yeah. Well, thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Homemade Money right here in Burleson, Texas with James. And now I'm going to go get the keys to that Lamborghini. Have a super great week.
I need a girl thing tonight. Gather the girlfriends for a really good time. Hit the dance floor.